Hello, Veteran Outdoorsman here. And you're going to say, well, this guy must not have anything to do. He's putting out a lot of videos. Yeah, well, kind of bored. Nah, I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy this. I'm going to show you how to rig a drop shot. Some ways that maybe you haven't thought about. Drop shot's pretty easy to rig, and everybody knows how to rig everything now because you got the internet. I can remember checking out books at the library when I was in school, learning how to do different rigs, and watching videos with Bill Dance and watching on TV Jimmy Houston and Hank Parker and Roland Martin and Orlando Wilson. And I do not pretend to be like any of those guys. I'm not near as good as any of those guys. I have had the fortune of meeting Jimmy Houston. Wonderful, wonderful man. He is just as friendly in person as he is on TV. Great man. I would love to meet him again, spend some time with him. I do talk to him quite a bit on his YouTube channel. He does have a YouTube channel that I would certainly recommend. He puts out daily devotionals along with fishing tips. Great man. So that's my plug for Jimmy Houston. Here, I'm tying a little bitty salmon egg hook. So is this a trout rig? Well, it could be. I like those little bitty hooks for lots of things. They work good for bluegill, or as I call them, brim. They work good for lots of stuff. They work good for trout. They work good for any kind of small fish. They work really good for bottom rigging with a night crawler, catch suckers. Like, who wants to catch a sucker? Well, you've never eaten one if you're asking that question. So I got that tied on. I got that little snell hook, or that little salmon egg hook tied on. Got it tied on. Got my weight. I got my leader. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to run my leader back through the top. If I can see it, even with my glasses, it's not the easiest thing to see this time. I'm going to run my leader back through, and that's going to do something for me. Should keep that hook point straight, but I tied it on wrong in the first place. Well, since what I'm using this for is for crickets and worms and things, I'm not too worried about it. If I was going to put a lure on, I'd retie it so that that hook stays straight up and down like that. But for this, I'm not going to worry about it. So there's a few ways you can do a drop shot. You can take this leader and just tie on a bell sinker or a standard drop shot. Tie on a bell sinker like that. Standard pinch on drop shot weight. Take this drop shot weight here, my Titan tungsten drop shot weight. Oh, you're plugging them. Yeah, I am. I like them. I plug a lot of things I like. You can put that through. Standard drop shot style. Pull it up. It's pinched in place. If you snag, pulls off. Now, breaks the line, but it pulls off. Okay? That's fine. You leave your weight, but you got your hook. What if you're fishing, you've yanked a bunch of these off, you're out of drop shot weights? What do? Well, you have bell sinkers. You can use a bell sinker. Do you have split shot? Find a split shot, the weight you want. Pinch that on the end of your leader. Good to go. I throw Texas rigs. The most common rig probably thrown ever. Certainly the rig that I throw the most. I throw a lot of Texas rigs. So I've always got bullet weights. Always have worm weights. Now this is just for demonstration purposes, so I'm going to take a little bullet weight that I've got. And you can flip it whichever way you want. But I'm going to put it point down. You say, well, it'll snag more. Maybe. But it's not going to fish itself down in the crevice and get caught like this. But regardless, we're going to rig it to where if it gets snagged, it's going to fall off. Somebody's going to say, well, how is this going to work? Well, there's one way you can do it. You can take it like this, slide it on, and then just run your line back through 2 or 3 times. It'll tighten up. But what I'm going to do, we'll take a little rubber bobber stop. And this will work with any slip weight, not just a worm weight, bullet weight. It'll work with any slip sinker. I got that rubber bobber stop. I got that on there. I got me a drop shot. Maybe you want to put 2 on there. I got me a drop shot. I can drag that along the bottom. This is more of a panfish rig. Put a little piece of mealworm, a little red wiggler, cricket, something like that. Tie it about like that. Throw it, drag it real tight lined along beds. Leave it tight lined sitting out there. This time of year when the brim are moving up on their beds, catch you a lot of panfish in short order. Use a bigger hook, put a minnow on it, whatever. There's another way. So if you are out fishing and you forget your drop shot weights, you find somebody's drop shot and then you don't have weights, or you're just getting into a lot of snags and you've ripped all yours off, you got slip sinkers, you got split shot. I'm going to show you another trick. And there's a couple ways to do this. I've seen it done before. Haven't used it much myself, but I certainly have used it to have some weights more than once. I've got to find my pliers with my needle nose, my wire cutters. Here we go. This is a real cheap multi-tool. It's a Berkley wannabe Gerber type thing, but it's got a fish scaler. It's got some crimpers. It's actually a pretty good tool. But what I'm going to show you, we almost always all have jigs. What do you got on there? First, you got a jig like this. Maybe rig up a small worm and then up above it have your drop shot hook, have your finesse hook and have a drop shot rig, and you're dragging your jig along, and you've also got a drop shot. You got 2 chances to catch a bite. Or you've run out of weight. They're not biting on jigs. But they were sure biting on drop shots. And you're out of drop shots. Well, now I got me a 1/4 ounce round drop shot weight. Say, well, you just ruined that jig head. Well, it wasn't doing me a whole lot of good if I wasn't catching fish on it, was it? I'm kind of a redneck. I do a lot of things that people think, what are you doing? I'm going to show you a variation of a drop shot. Kind of a mixture between jig fishing, drop shot fishing, and just what is he doing fishing. And this is different. And I'm not going to tear this thing up because it's a good spinnerbait, but I'm going to show you. Take your spinnerbait, and that's fairly weedless. You can use the old Larry Nixon rubber band trick, tie your rubber band on here and down here and make it pretty weedless. Okay, but if you're fishing heavy cover, maybe you don't want to do this. If you're fishing on the bottom, whatnot. What you do is you tie this on. And then, you can also, because what we're going to do is you're going to take your pliers, and you're not going to snip your split ring, but you're going to take that, blade off. You're going to put that back in your box because you're going to put it back on later. And you're going to put you a rubber band from here to here, and you're going to make that weedless. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tie a leader onto that, on that swivel there, on that split ring. And you're going to run that out, and you're going to put you a floating worm Texas rig, or a crawl, or a fluke, or a baby diving crankbait, or a small jerkbait. Like, this guy's nuts. Well, that's got nothing to do with it. You're right. That's got nothing to do with it. And you're going to have now make sure it's legal where you're at. Some places you can't have more than one hook, things like that. But you're going to have a bottom rig and a top rig. Kind of like what I was telling you, where you put the jig. And you can do that. You can do kind of a Bubba shot type system where you use the real heavy weights. They call them Bubba shots. Bubba drop shots. You can use one like that. Great big jig and do like I was telling you earlier. But you use these small jigs. You can use that spinnerbait and use it tie on a leader. And you could swim it just like a regular spinnerbait. Tie on a white or a yellow and swim it just like a swim jig or spinnerbait, regular spinnerbait. And you got that swivel on there, and you got your leader, and behind it you got your a Zaraspook, or you got your little stick bait or something, and you got, 2 things. More chances to get a bite. Not really a variation on drop shots, but kinda. But something else you can do with your drop shots, if you got lead weights. Now again, I use tungsten. I got those Titan tungstens. I like them. I've said that. I'll keep saying it. And it's not just because they tell me to say it, because they don't. I could I can say whatever I want. But I really do like them. Something else you can do, say you don't have bobber stops, you don't want to run the line through like I said earlier. What you can do, first of all, I'm going to put this back on my little bobber stop keeper. You say, well, you can't do that. Well, I've been doing things that I've been told I couldn't do for a long time. And I'll keep doing them as long as it works. When it quits working, I'll quit doing it. But until then, man alive, I'm going to need me a hook to spread that wire out. Because they put them bobber stops on wires. And by the way, Titan Tungsten sells bobber stops, beads, all sorts of things, not just weights. They got a lot of new products coming out. They're a fairly new company. I'll link them in the description. I want you to check them out. Also, there's lots of promotions and discounts out there on the net. You can get a lot of discounts. So what you're going to do, I'm cheap. I don't use bobber stops a lot. When I use them, when I'm done, I want to be able to use them again. So I got that wire spread out. Got that wire spread out. And I'm going to force that. Well, I guess I'm not. Guess I'm not. I know I've done that before, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to worry about that. What I'm going to show you, this slides around. This sinker slides up and down. Maybe you don't have bobber stops. Maybe you don't want to just tie your line around it. You want it, but you want it to be able to slide off. You don't have any split shot. Come here to the narrow end. Give her a pinch. Take that bobber stop off. I'll throw it back in there because I'm going to find a way to get it back on that keeper. I'm cheap. There you go. Now, you got you an adjustable drop shot weight that's going to slide on and off. Throw that in there. So, you got some options for throwing drop shots when you wasn't planning on throwing drop shots. And I hope you learned something. I learned that I can say I'm going to do something and find out that it ain't going to happen. But that's okay. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I hope you like, subscribe, hit the ding dong bell. Check out the links in the description. And we'll catch you later. Remember, Christ is King. This is Veteran Outdoorsman signing off.